Here's another question about cumulative frequency. And we've been given some information about incomes of 100 people in the UK, and they're set out in this table. So 0 up to 10,000, 10,000 to 20, so on, so on, so on, up to 60,000. Part A asks us to complete a cumulative frequency table. So we need an extra column here and work out what the cumulative frequency is. Remember, we've got 12 people up to 10,000. Then all of the people up to 20,000 must include the 12 that were up to 10 and also the 41 that are now included between 10 and 20,000. So we simply add these numbers up and create a running total, if you like. Well, the first of our cumulative frequency results is easy. We've got 12 people in this group, so at the end of the group, in other words, by the time we're up to an income of £10,000, we've got 12 people. Now, if we're talking about up to 20,000, we must include 12, but we must add to them the people whose income is between 10 and 20,000. So 41 gets added to 12 and makes 53. And the rest of the results are as follows. And it looks like the arithmetic is correct, because if there were 100 people in the survey, we've managed to capture all 100 in our addition of the individual frequencies. So that's the answer to Part A. Part B, we're asked to plot the results. Again, the argument goes that we've got 12 people in that group, so that by the time we leave that group, we have 12 results. So we must plot 12 at the coordinate point that reflects the 10,000 limit. It's at the edge of the group. So 12, well, each of these vertical values is 2. So this is 10, 12. So the first plot point goes here. 20,000 at 53. So 50 is here, and 1, 2, 3 is there. And here are the rest of the plot points. I can draw a line through those points, something like that. And that's the answer to Part B. Now Part C. We've got to find an estimate for the median. Well, the median value is halfway up the cumulative frequency scale up to 100. So the median point will be at 50. So if I draw a line from the 50 point across to the graph and then vertically down, the answer lies on this scale down here. So reading off the scale, I'm getting an answer of 19,000. Now, in the second part of Part C, they're asking us for the interquartile range. Well, for that, we need to find the quartiles. Well, just as the median is here, at the halfway point, this is actually quartile number 2. Quartile number 3 will lie halfway in between this point and 100. Well, halfway in between 50 and 100 is 75. That line there. This is Q3. And Q1 will be halfway between the median and 0, which will be at 25. And this is Q1. So what we've now got to do is we've got to drop 2 verticals down from our intersection points of Q3 on the curve and Q1 on the curve and work out the range that represents in income terms. So I'll pop those on the diagram. Okay, this is C part 2, and we'll first look at Q1. Q1, from my diagram, each of these small divisions between 10,000 and 20 are £1,000 each, so I reckon from my graph I'm getting an answer of £14,000. And Q3, again reading off the graph, I've got £28,000. So from my figures, the interquartile range, IQR, which is equal to Q3 minus Q1, my answer I get is £14,000. Now, because we're reading off a graph and we've drawn a line freehand through our points, both the 14,000 and the 28,000 are inaccurate, which means our answer is inaccurate. So there will be a range of acceptable answers here. This is the answer I got from my particular diagram, but you might get a slightly different one from your diagram, again, depending where you put that line through the points. So finally, we can write down that the interquartile range is equal to £14,000. And that is your answer.